my name is Yamiel, and in this video, I want to share um, my process for sending out cold emails. Um, so this video is applicable for many industries, but in this particular video, I'm going to use catering industry as an example of how I use it with our catering clients. But keep in mind that this can be used for many different industries. I just want to focus on what most of my audience is at this moment. Okay, so step one is, and you may want to get a notebook if you're serious about email, internet, like using email, the cold email approach, because each of these steps is extremely important. All right, so step one is setting up a domain for doing emails. Do not use your own domain. Do not. So if you have a domain cateringexperts.com, do not create an email from that domain because you're going to cause problems with having your emails delivered to your actual customers. At one point or another, a domain that is used just for cold outreach will be banned and shadow ghosted and whatnot. So you'll be sending it to Gmail account, and Gmail already says, nah, that's spam, and it will automatically put your emails into spam. You don't want that. So you need to buy different domains, and you can do that through GoDaddy. I use Namecheap personally. I really love them. I'm gonna put the link down below. I mean, making sure to remember that. But when I love Namecheap. I really like the way they do things, and of course, there's an affiliate link if you want to buy from them. It doesn't cost you anything. It will help support the channel. But um, so what I do is that I buy a domain. So when I have a customer, let's say they're, let's say it's caterers.com. I know that there's actually a company, but just to give you an idea. And so I would buy outreach, dash corporatecaterers.com, or I may buy the .net version. Don't get too creative with the LTD. The LTD is what goes after the dot. When you go to purchase domains, you're going to see that there's a whole list of .coms that you can use. There's all kinds. But in my testing, in my actual um, doing the work for other people, I have found that those emails that are not like more familiar, they end up going automatically a lot of times in spam just because it's suspect. So stay within the .net, .com, maybe .info is pretty safe. Anything else than that, I would stay away from. So you can use you can do outreach slash, not slash, dash, and then the name of the domain.com, or the same thing, outreach slash, dash, domain name .net. It doesn't have to match your domain either, by the way. It could be something, catchy, something else. But like I have some generic emails that I'm warming up and just having ready for when a client comes, and I have on different niches. So when a client comes, it's already ready to go. So when you buy the domain, it's gonna need to be either hosted. You can host it on Namecheap, or you can host it somewhere else. I use another provider for that. I use smallorange.com only because I'm a reseller with them, and I've done hundreds of emails from there, so I know that how to set it up quickly. But you can also use Namecheap for the hosting, and you can even, so they will charge you additional to create an email account with them. So you can definitely do that. They're very reliable. I personally I like to do a small orange because I can set up a forwarding. So whenever if somebody replies to that email, it will go to the real email that I monitor and I have on my phone. So if anybody replies, I have the emails coming into my phone, and I can address them, or to the client, to the client email. So that's extremely important when setting up that up. And And that's Yuki, my dog. um, so the next thing within the same step, you also want to um, set up. You don't have to set up an autoresponder. So I like autoresponders. For example, if you're sending like you know let's say for example I have an email that I set up on my domain is outreach at um, bi- uh, boostbusinesssolutions.com, and then what I have is that I have, if when you send me an email there, you're going to get a proposal for the email campaign. Like I do all this for clients. So, if you want a proposal, you send me an email there, and automatically you're going to get an email with a link to the PDF with the proposal. So that sort of thing. So if you can use it that way as well. So that's why I like a small orange, because I can do all those things there. But again, you can also use Namecheap or whatever other place that you want to host your email account. So that's that. Now, step number two, it's to compile a list of prospects. So again, I'm going to use the catering industry as an example of what kind of outbound campaigns you can do. So in the catering industry, there is two niches, two different groups of people, and they have their own needs. So you have the social, weddings, quinces, birthdays, that sort of thing, corporate, and then you have and even corporate events to me is social, holiday parties, that sort of thing. And then you have the corporate, which corporate to me, and again, the social, like holiday parties for a company can be considered corporate. Consider it social only because it's a once in a blue moon kind of thing. To me, corporate, it's more like events related to like lunches and meetings and that sort of thing. So to me, a it's great to have a social portfolio for catering companies, but if you want to add more steady kind of income, definitely the corporate catering is super, very, very good, because usually they may have a board meeting every month, they may have, a staff meeting every week. So there are opportunities to have, um, just more steady, dealing with the same people more often than just one. That's kind of what I mean. So so because of that, the email campaigns are going to be very different. So one for the social, for example, you can set up an email campaign for venues, and venues you can do, even like churches. You can do um, wedding planners, event planners. So you can set up campaigns with particular content for them. Now, for the corporate, would be different. So for the corporate, what I like to do for my clients is send them an email saying, "Hi, I don't know if you ever have meetings or in-house events that you need catering." Um, and then a link to the menu. Here's a menu in case. And then when the link on it, instead of going straight to the menu, it asks them for their email. So then once they enter their email, they're able to then we'll have automation set up that either we email them the menu, the corporate menu, which every caterer should have, like a steady kind of something easy they can order from, or like if it's a digital form, or just allow them to view the menu once, but enter the email first, so that we're also building an actual interested list database that is warm. At that point, it will be warm, and then you can start emailing them for the holidays, for Valentine's Day, for Mother's Day, for whatever promotion you got going on. If you have a new menu item, that sort of thing. So this is something you can send newsletters to. Um, so that's how I recommend to do that. So so you have to build, obviously, a list of prospects, and we use a few databases to do that, and to extract emails and contact information. And what we do is that after we compile a good list, we then run it through a software that checks to see if they're valid, because you don't want a bounce rate to affect your domain. So we check that, clean it up, get rid of duplicates, and then we end up with the final product. And that database can be reused and reused and reused, with the different methods. By the way, on step one, I always buy more than one domain. I buy three. I work on threes. I mean, even our backlinking for SEO is always on three. So I always do three. Why? Because if one gets blacklisted, we still have a couple more to work, and also we can share the amount of emails that goes out. We don't do more than 100 a day, so it keeps them healthy versus having to do a huge 300, 400 emails out of one domain. Okay, and so that way we can divide the work, and it just looks more, a little bit more, not so cringy. Um, so, so prospecting is extremely important. It's a step that takes time. It's a step that it needs to be. It's just based on your geographic. So the systems that you use has to be. You have to be able to do it by geography. Either by city, state, however you want to do it, and and be able to get as many emails as possible. And then step three, which is creating the emails. What I like to do, I do A/B testing, and again, I write three different emails, and I'll send like a small sample, maybe 100 emails out of each domain, and then see which one performed better, which one had a better click rate, and then what I do is that the rest of the campaign, I just use that email into within all the three templates. If there's no clear winner, then I'll just keep sending until a clear winner shows up. If none shows up, then great, we know none to show up. But we also like to, we set up our campaigns like a few days. We look at it. Okay, how are we doing? Are we doing okay? If we see that nothing is happening, it's crickets. Okay, we need to redo these emails. It's not working. So that's what we do. We work, our email campaigns last 30 days, and that's usually, how I like to do it. Um, the final step, and it's not even final, but it's an additional step that you can add. You don't have to, but I firmly believe that sending, again, three follow-up emails within the next few days, so that, because sometimes we may see something, we don't open it right away, or we don't, then but when you follow up, usually the open rate improves. So because now it's not the first time they've seen you, so you are able to kind of be present to them, and do that. Another thing that can be done, and that's something I wasn't planning on discussing, but the light bulb went on, is that if you have, for example, you have a link that you either want them to book something, to talk to you, to look at your website, to download a menu, whatever it is, any link on an email, you can actually have your pixel from Facebook added to it. And even Google, if you do Google ads, you can have the pixel, the code embedded in there, so that now their information is recorded, the IP address recorded, so that if you're doing Facebook ads or doing any other kind of marketing, you can actually make sure that it shows to them. So it's pretty cool. So that's another thing that you can do with emails. You can actually have them, not only are they going to see your email, they're going to land on the inbox, they click on it, they look at it, maybe they don't take action or whatever, but then you're also going to be showing up in their social media, or Google, when they're searching for something. So it's also a great tool, especially the Facebook one works really well, especially when you have a big, large audience. And then, and then what happens is that you can actually use that as a lookalike audience on Facebook ads, and that way you can just kind of target those people. So it's absolutely a great way of um, getting out there and really spending wisely on your email campaigns. Email campaigns are usually pretty affordable. Once the domains are warmed up and the database is created, then it's just a matter of emailing, and that's not very expensive. If you want our proposal from us, be happy to. Our email will be down below, but it's outreach at boostbusinesssolutions.com, and the system will automatically send you a link to it. So that's it. This is what I have for you. I know it's a lot, and writing the emails. One tip that I'm going to give you is that have fun with it. And sometimes all you need is to know, for example, if you're sending an email to a venue, maybe all you want to know, do you allow outside catering? And have them reply yes or no, and then you get those replies. Those that say yes, you can say, do you have a list of recommended caterers? How can I be of service? How can we partner up? And that sort of thing. And and you'll be surprised, a lot of caterers don't do that. They don't actually go out to they don't reach out to venues to find out, do you guys do outside catering? Do you guys allow it? And then asking, how can I get on the list? Do you have a list of recommended caterers? What do you need from us? How can we help you? So that is a great way of doing that. So this is what I have for you. Please subscribe and like this video if you find it useful. It really helps the channel. I am trying to provide more value as I go, but if I don't get, if I hear crickets, what's the point, right? Anyway, thank you so much. If you're interested in any of our services, the links will be down below. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.